Hi. I hope that I'm not going to block you too much now. I can see myself in the mirror and I can see the top of my head just about here when I lean over. So I'm hoping that you're not, your view isn't obstructed. And I'm also hoping that I can kind of easily reach yeah, I think I can. I was just sitting here out in the studio in the garden and having my scrambled eggs and a cup of tea, and I looked up. Actually, do you know what was before I was having my scrambled eggs? Just when I was getting my tablecloth out, I looked up and I saw myself there in the mirror, and I thought, I like the flash of the orange jumper against, and just the position I was in was kind of interesting to me, where I'm kind of 3/4 view. Now we'll see what's going to be included. To be honest, the microphone is a little bit in the way, so I think if I put it on my shoulder here, that might work even better, because I can see the collar, which I quite like, of this jumper that I'm wearing, this orange jumper. And yeah, and it's on my shoulder, so the microphone is on my shoulder now. So yeah, so when I looked up, I quite liked the flash of orange and turn of the head, so I'm going to see if I can aim to keep that turn. And the easiest thing for me to get was my watercolour paint, because I'm working on some commissions in the living room. I get up and I try and do it a few minutes every morning, first thing before anything else happens. So you want a good big, bold and bright kind of blush of orange there. So I'm going for the bigger brush. I mean, it's almost fluorescent, this jumper. I never thought I'd wear it, when I got it first. I hardly take it off now. And I'll tell you something else. I wore it to bed last night, imagine. Sometimes the coziest thing. It's a bit of a go slow day. Not a bit, it's a very go slow day. And so my intention here is to continue going slow. A lot of people are around me are doing their gardening, and you'll hear all kinds of things going on in the background, because next door they're setting up their raised beds, and 2 doors down they've been cutting and trimming. So this is my garden. I think Seamus Heaney said something like that about his writing. His stub of a pencil. He said, this is my spade and I'll dig with it. So this is my spade and I'll garden with it. This is my digging. So so there we have some semblance of a jumper. I want it to go down the way more, actually. And I might inject a bit of this little Jackson's orange. I tried to clean it up, but it's kind of failed, really. There's still lots of brown in there. Yeah, it's okay. Just something that isn't face anyway down there. That can be my standard. Something that isn't face. That's cadmium red. I launched in there. So this jumper is quite a bit higher at the back. The polo neck is a lot higher at the back than it is at the front, where it connects with my neck at the front and my jawline at the back there. Okay. So let's see where we go. Kind of want things a bit more easily accessible here. Try and find something with the brown and blue together there. No, brown and green to make the shadows on the right hand side of my face. Ended up putting some crimson there, you probably noticed. So this is, I think, where my jaw begins. It's probably a better colour for my hair actually, what I've got in the brush now. The crimson and green, sap green it is. Don't know where my Viridian green has gone. Okay, now something for the skin. Sorry. There we are. Okay. I'm gonna find something for the skin now, on the shadow side of the face. I'm quite hot sitting here. And just over to the right is the palette, which unfortunately you can't see. But yeah, feeling like it's quite warm sitting here in the shade now. In the sun, I mean, kind of half sun. Okay. Moving slowly these days, like really moving slowly. And for moving slowly, I feel like watercolour is not a bad medium to choose. There's exciting lighting on my face because of the sunlight hitting, I think, the paper. It's shining a light onto the, like underneath my eyebrow. On this side there's a very bright light which helps to explain the brow bone actually. And it's quite a lot darker on this side of the face than it is on the other. There's a welcome breeze now coming. This is Sunday, so lazy Sunday allowed. So as well as there being a strange shadow on my brow that's from reflected light, there's also a shadow more on my lower lip than my upper lip this time, which is an unusual thing. I'm going to keep stopping and having my breaks. I think I'm feeling a little bit, it's probably just really tired actually. I don't feel sick, I just feel really tired. So whether I'm resting or active, I want the pace to be very slow. So this may be a very slow video. Right, what's happening now here? If I wasn't painting this jumper, it would definitely be off me now. I'm just doing a video here, but it's okay. I've got the microphone on. Some clean kitchen paper. I think you can still see it okay if I do that. It makes it simpler for me to be able to see. And not distort things. I'll see about making the lids a little bit darker there, I think. So we've just got some ultramarine blue and Van Dyke brown on the brush there. Don't know if you can hear that, that's Erin coughing. She's at 5, this will be her 5th day on late shift, and I think she's really needing a break. Erin is a flight attendant for Ryanair at the moment, anyway. Leave it that way a little while longer, I think. Yesterday I discovered that I can swim at Flottiston Reservoir, which is only a 15-minute cycle. And it was the most beautiful swim in ages I've had. I haven't swum in ages, since Spain actually. And I had a Zoom call at 7, and I thought, at 5:30, I wonder, could I go for a swim there? I had met some swimmers there the day before, because I went for a cycle to the reservoir yesterday. No, the day before yesterday I went for a cycle, and I saw these people in the water, and I thought, God, I never realised you could swim here. It's not like the reservoir I normally swim at, or used to normally swim at, up to about a month ago. It was a 15-minute drive. I cycled sometimes, but it was quite an excursion to cycle and then swim and cycle back again. So it's really good to have a chat with those swimmers, and they said they were going at 4:30 the next day and invited me to join them. But as it happened, I forgot all about it until 5:30. So I thought, maybe I can go over now and have a quick dip. And I was back in time, well in time for my Zoom call as well, so it's a lovely thing to know about. Maybe that's why I'm tired as well. And yesterday I ended up fasting for the day, because I felt like I just wanted to give my system a break. I've been eating late at night, and the way I love my scones and all those kind of things, and I just felt like I was needing to stop for a while. So that might explain my tiredness as well, but also the fact that the day before I was cycling, swimming, and actually dancing yesterday morning then. So it's been an active enough time, so it's lovely to slow down. It was really lovely actually not to have to decide on what food to make and everything yesterday. Something fell off the swinging seat, disturbing Maisie there. Anyway, one of the pluses yesterday was that I didn't have to decide. Lily just did a meal from the freezer. I didn't have to think about food, and that kind of freed up. Well, it allowed me to slow down more, because I think maybe when I've been tired I've been eating rather than resting, and so yesterday I just rested, and as well as my swim and stuff, I did feel like the pace slowed down significantly. And today as well I just got up, and where was this? I heard this somewhere now, that I think it was Matt Haig again, Reasons to Stay Alive, in that book. He speaks about things to do, things that he finds helpful when he was in a really depressed state for a number of years, and he wrote the book Reasons to Stay Alive after coming out of that, for folk who might have been in the same boat as him, or I suppose, I don't know, he just wrote this book anyway, and I love it, because he speaks about one of the quotes I loved from it, or one of the ideas, was to look for something beautiful in every moment. Like, even if it's just a flash of a colour, like the bicycle is here beside me, and the flash of light on the red reflector light is kind of pleasing. So there's always something, whether it be a smile, or to seek something beautiful in every moment, because the natural response to beauty is love, apparently. Well, I feel it anyway. I think it was him who said that, and maybe John O'Donoghue too. I was listening to John O'Donoghue yesterday, and I forget what it was that he said, but he said something similar about beauty. And it's not to be mistaken for glamour or flash in the pan kind of stuff. John O'Donoghue said everybody, at least once in their life, needs to hear the words, "You are beautiful." I think I've said this before in a video, but there you go. If you didn't hear that video, this is me saying to you, you are beautiful. Why did I start talking about that now? Something to do with Matt Haig, Reasons to Stay Alive. What was it? It was kind of tips, things that he did. It wasn't, that was another one, the seek something beautiful in every moment wasn't what I was looking for there. It was something else. I forget what it was now. If it's important, it'll come back to me, and I sure. Or not. I could always stop and rewind the video, see if I can get back to that train of thought. But it doesn't look like I'm going to do that, does it? I'm feeling fairly ensconced here now in this position. Slightly annoyed that I can't remember that thing. So it looks to me like summer is well and truly stationed in Scotland. Today, at least. Yesterday it was really roasting. Such a lovely thing to go to the reservoir when I'd been sitting in the garden really warm, and then cycling over I got really hot. So it was the business then to just have a swim. .14 degrees the water was apparently. I suppose this is the time of year when the reservoir will be a bit warmer than the sea, I'm guessing, with it being so static. and I need a bit more hair. Maybe. I can just about see the picture when I crane my neck back. On the screen, I mean. Upside down. Yeah, something came to me the other day, but kind of not having to hold everything up, hold myself up anymore, and to just exhale, I think. And in that exhale, just softening into the chair. And it feels like this is a little bit like that. This painting feels to me representing that, because I'm not sitting upright with my legs firmly planted on the ground. I feel grounded, but it's a different kind of fluid grounded. Quiet, like was a good realization for me that kind of not feeling like I had to holding tight or something. I didn't realize I was holding so tight until I let go, actually. And nothing's actually fallen apart or anything like that, so it's okay. I can rest. And the world doesn't stop, you know. We can take a break, and we can even fully stop. And we're still moving fairly fast in this world, aren't we? Even if we stay still ourselves. We're never gonna fall off. We'll always be part of the whole thing, whether we're moving ourselves or not. I think actually, in actual fact, there's more security and stillness than in any kind of belting around the place. Just so there we have it. And I felt this kind of pulling downwards in the whole thing, like a feeling of heaviness, but good heaviness. Like that there is this holding of me by a much greater syrupy sea of living or something, or sea of life force, life still and steady on its own, not moving actually, not moving anywhere, but being the deep pool that holds all movement within it, has capacity for all, like fathomless really. It's quite a soothing thought. No matter what the current emotion or circumstance, you know, that there is something here that is holding all of us. I feel that. When I slow down enough, I can really feel that. Like a font of all aliveness or something. From where all aliveness comes. A dark, deep, dark place down low. Feels like that. And if I was to find anything in my experience that feels like it feels like maybe being in the womb or something, that dark home feeling. Not that I remember being in the womb. Maybe some part of me does. I don't know. Maybe that's why it feels so strong when I do stop and feel into that place from which all life comes, all motion. Like the lines of my friend John's poem, all motion comes from here. I feel like with emotion being such a kind of sometimes such a carrying away like a kite, you know, like a flighty thing, it's really helpful to find that ground in order to let whatever needs to arise be able to be felt. And it feels good having that solidity and rootedness. And I think so, it's a thing that can elude us, I think, when there's too many words around it as well, but there's something in creativity that seems to have it arise without words. Singing and there you have words again, but you know, movement or dance or this kind of carry-on painting and stuff. Just making marks on a page. There's something in that lets feeling come through in some way without having to even name it. So I'm interested in cultivating more of that stuff, more of that presence, I guess is what it is. Where I'm reminded of a quote from Eckhart Tolle. He said, "The eternal present is the space within which all of life unfolds." And maybe that syrupy stuff is what he speaks about as space. I don't know. To me it feels like a dark pond of alive, loving richness, something like that. And it's kind of anchoring me. Well, it always is, and it's most healing for me. In my experience, it feels healing when I actually drop into that place of stillness, presence, and all that. And it's not like there's a button that drops you in, is there? But I think after all I feel like I've had a phase of rallying and racing. I'm heading to Spain there now. I mean, it was all lovely, but if I had to do that today, I'd be exhausted. And there's something about having had that pace for a while, and now the contrast of today and yesterday a bit slower. There's a feeling of really, really appreciating this slower pace. The light has softened a bit now, it's not quite so bright. And I think it's moved on a bit, the sunlight isn't hitting the studio anymore so much. Maybe it's just clouds, I don't know. But still there's light coming in from that side anyway, so it still makes it possible to keep going with the same shadows. We're going to Ireland at the end of June for 4 days. I'm going to Killarney for a family reunion. I love going away with my girls. And I love meeting cousins and my sisters, my family, my brothers, parents. So I'm looking forward to that. And in the meantime, I would imagine that we'll be having a few swims too in the reservoir close to us now. Now that's been discovered. I used to love cycling along beside it, never thinking that. And I mean, there's no swimming signs. I just never noticed anybody in there. It's a great spot too, because you can get there's a nice restaurant near there too. A couple of them. I was thinking of going back to doing a little bit of the intermittent fasting thing. I'm cautious enough about stuff like that now, because I feel like I need to just be aware of not being too rigorous around anything. I thought yesterday I had to kind of scrutinize my reasoning behind taking the day off food yesterday, and I think really it was to do with a lot of things, but mostly it was to do with that feeling of sludginess, like I did feel like my digestion needed a break, and also to knock me out of the pattern of eating late at night food that isn't so good for me as well. So I think that was the main reason, but there's another reason, and it's that I want my clothes to fit me. my summer clothes. I want them to feel comfortable. Or else I'll buy new. I actually bought myself 2 new skirts yesterday with I had the same one last year and I wore it over and over, so I ended up buying 2 of them, because the one that I bought last year is threadbare now, it's all torn. I wore it every day, and these are comfortable skirts like that, and they look nice as well. They feel really nice too because they're cotton. And yeah, so it's not critical if I don't have exactly the same waistline as I did last year, because I've got those expanding skirts, and I really like the shape of them too. So yeah, let's see. So what I was saying was I was thinking of going back to the maybe 14:10 every day, you know, stopping eating say at 8 o'clock in the evening and then waiting until 10 o'clock the next day for breakfast. It's not a huge thing, but it means that I never really feel that hungry, and I just get out of the habit of eating at night time, which I think is good. There's the 15-8 option as well, which would mean I wouldn't eat breakfast really. And that kind of suited me before, but I heard from somebody that it's not great for women to do that hormonally, that we need to eat more regularly than, you know, to have the 14:10 suits us better, apparently. I think I've slightly changed my posture since starting this. Sure, I never said who I was or anything. I don't know if anyone who's new now will stay watching this long, seeing as I hardly said a bit all the way through it, but if you are new here, you're very welcome. Thanks for joining me. My name is Anya Devine, and I am a painter and an art teacher and mum to 3 daughters. And this is my back garden. I live outside Edinburgh in Scotland, although I'm from Cork originally, and we'll be heading back to Cork and then to Killarney at the end of June for a few days. And I'm also teaching over in Mayo, actually, a lovely retreat centre in Mayo. I'll be teaching in the middle of July, 15th to the 23rd, I think, or no, because the 23rd and the 24th I'm teaching in Wicklow. They're really favourite places of mine in the whole world, not to mind in Ireland, but the whole world. These places, I just love working there, and I also really love the people, but the landscape too. Wicklow is called the Garden of Ireland, and then across in Mayo, it's just epic, really beautiful Atlantic coastline. So, you know, I was thinking, I was reading somewhere, you know, consider what you wanted for your life years ago and now what you've got. And like a lot of the things I wished for, like being able to paint and teach for a living, a lot of those things have actually come to pass. Well, that has come to pass. I don't know if it was a dream of mine, but I certainly didn't want to have to spend hours in a day job that I didn't love. And that's definitely happening for me, that I'm able to be at home, paint from home. I'd like to, I've got some other kind of dreams gestating now, I think, and one of the things I love is the collaborating with other creatives, other people who are, you know, poets and writers and musicians, dancers. I feel like, I suppose, a studio space within which people like that rent studios would be the ideal. I was wondering if I could maybe set something up myself now and then where a group of us could just join for chat and creative play, really, of any kind. It doesn't, without the pressure to produce something or to perform in any way, really, just to enjoy being in that creative soup. We did that when I went down to Compton Verney, where my painting is, for that exhibition, the Sky Arts exhibition at Compton Verney. A group of us were interviewed for a TV programme on it. My painting of Neil Hannon is in the exhibition. It finishes today, actually. And I met some of the other portrait artists who were also being interviewed and had work there. And we all ended up sitting in the corner of the gallery and just drawing each other. And it felt very life-affirming somehow. And I mentioned to one of them, I said, would you be interested in doing this again, you know, creating this possibility of meeting up and painting together again. So, and they were keen, so maybe I could make it happen in Edinburgh or something. Yeah, goal setting. I'm going to hopefully join a group on goal setting. This is after saying about slowing down, but maybe slowing down to speed up. I don't know. I don't want to speed up, but, you know, slowing down to gather in and discern what it is, what the next thing is, and then to let it slowly rise to the surface rather than pushing it. So thank you for assisting my rising to the surface. I certainly felt a little bit underwater when I started this, under something, and I feel a bit more alive. I'm sitting up a little bit taller. Anyway, I think this is the end of this now. This is the end of this picture. There you go. Thank you for joining me. And thanks for joining me. See you next time. Go easy on yourself. Maybe you could have a really go slow day. All the best.